Hello friends, welcome to JavaFx 3D tutorial. In this video, we are going to see how to use path transition. So if you see the circle or ellipse like shape here, that's the path, and this one is the object that will get animated through this path. So JavaFx provides path transition class, and the path transition class allows the shape to perform traversal along the given path. So there are two entities here. One is the path and another one is the shape. So the shape will perform the traversal along the given path. So that's the way animation is done in path transition. Let's understand this animation by directly going through the code, and when we walk through the code, that time we will provide more pointers towards it. So we create anchor pan. So since it's a anchor pan, the origin will be towards the top left. So if you use a stack pan, the origin will be towards the center. So here we create a anchor pan, and then we will create a scene of 800, 500. That means the stage width is 800 and height is 500. Then we name our example. We set the scene to the stage, then we will show the stage. So this is the routine stuff that we are seeing in the past almost 100 videos. So we started with the 2D, then we walked you through the JavaFX UI, and at present in this current series or current course, we are going through the Java 3D. Right. So in all those cases, we used the same stuff. We create a route, then we will assign a scene to the route, then we will set up the stage, and finally we will show the stage. Here we create a circle, and this circle will draw a circle and rotate it on x-axis. Anyhow, the circle will act as a path. So that's why we name this as a path. We create a circle and its radius is 200. So we call that as a path. Then we set a stroke with a light gray. So in real world, people usually won't show this path at all. It will be hidden. But here, for our easy understanding purpose, we are making this visible. That's why we are setting it as a light gray. So let it be half visible by setting light gray. Then we set a stroke width of 2. Then set fill color transparent. Then we set layout X and layout Y. That means here we are transforming the object. This is the origin we told, right? Because it's a anchor pan, and circle will be initially drawn in the default location 0, 0. Since we are setting the layout X and layout Y, this will be relocated. So 400, that means this is 800 center. 500 is the height, 250. So we are placing the circle towards the center, and circle radius is 200. right? Finally, we add this circle to the root. So root is our anchor pen. Anchor pen is already equipped with the stage. Here if you see, we have the circle. So this is a circle's center. We relocated it. Then circle radius is 200. Here the shape circle will act as a path for the animation. Here the shape circle will act as a path for the animation. You can use shapes like circle, ellipse, rectangle, and arc as a animation path. Or you can even mix all these: circle, ellipse, arc, rectangle. So you can mix, and so the mixed shape can act as a animation path. We can perform transformation of path before starting the path animation. So if you want to relocate the path in which the actual object moves along, so we can relocate the path also, because here the path itself is a JavaFx node. So you can move to the location you want. In the code below, we rotate the path as well as 3D box. So here we are using a 3D box, right? This 3D box will move along the path, and we rotate the 3D box as well. So if we won't rotate the 3D box, it will look like a rectangle in our viewing angle, because here we are not using any camera, right? So it's good to rotate the rectangle, the box, so that it will not look like a rectangle. So we rotate the 3D box as well as we rotate the path as well. So at present the path is looking like a circle, and if you rotate it, the path will be oriented in all axis direction. So if this is the XY plane, and if you rotate the circle in all direction, it may have some orientation on Z axis as well, if it is Z. The 3D box will make transition via the path specified. Here path is our circle. We are going to rotate that. So path is nothing but our circle. Set rotation axis. Here we are specifying the point. That means we want to rotate the path along X and Y axis. We are skipping the Z. So we are just rotating the circle in X and Y axis, and the rotation angle is 45 degrees here. Next, we create a box, and the box is like a cube since all sides are equal. That means length, width, as well as depth all are equal. So we end up creating a cube here. So we will move this cube along the path here. So we already rotated the path. Path is nothing but the circle. That's what we created previously. Next, we create a Pong material, green, yellow, and we assign that material to our box. Finally, we set rotation axis for our box as well. So here also we use X and Y axis rotation. And rotation angle here we are specifying it as 45 degree. So we get the children and add the box finally. So here if you see, so the circle which we previously saw that got rotated, So this circle will act as a path. So we have the path and we have the box. So this box will be animated along this path. So at present we rotated this box, but we haven't yet translated it. So that's why it is staying in the default. So we know that the axis is towards the top end, right? I mean the origin. This is 0, 0. So this is the origin because we are using the anchor pan, and that's why we are seeing the box here towards the top left hand side corner of the stage. So the path transition class will look for two shapes. One will act as a path. So in our example, we created a circle that will act as a path, and the other will be the shape that needs to be animated. So in our case, it's a 3D box. So path transition expects two shape. One shape is the path. In our example, it is circle, and other one is the shape that needs to be animated, and we created a box for that. In our example, for understanding purpose, we drawn the path in gray color. So usually the path will be hidden and it will not be shown to the user. Here we are showing you the path so that you can see how the shape 3D box is moving along the route, I mean the path route. In actual world, this will be hidden. This means here the path will be hidden. Path transition can be set with orientation type, none, and orthogonal to tangent. So this orientation type also you can set. One is none and another one is orthogonal to tangent. So when you use none, object will not change orientation. So in orthogonal type, object change orientation so that it is perpendicular to the path tangent. So let's state that this is your path and this is the object you want to move along the path. So okay, let it be here. So when we specify none, object will not change orientation. Say for example, if object moved 90 degree, it will look like this, and if you see, it doesn't change the orientation, and at 180 the object will be like this, and at 270 the object will be like this. So it will not change the orientation. But in orthogonal to tangent, so we can draw a tangent at a different location. Here I am just drawing two tangent to the circle, but okay, three tangent. So when object is moving, it will be perpendicular to this tangent. So for example, the box will be like this, and when it traveled this way, the object will be like this. And if you see, it is always perpendicular to the tangent. Tangent is nothing but a line that touches the circle in one point. And if you see here, orientation doesn't change, but here if you see, the orientation is changing. That means one face that is always pointing towards the center of the circle, right? So this is none, and this one is orthogonal to tangent. So next we create a path transition, new path transition, and duration is 15. And if you see here, we supply two objects. One is path and another one is the box. So the path is here, circle, that's what we created, and this one is 3D box. Next we set a cycle count of 1, cycle count of 1. That means animation will be played only once. Then we set orientation as orientation type as none. So when we go to demo, that time we will change this to explore how the tangent option works. Orthogonal to tangent will work. Finally, we are playing the animation. So in our previous code, we created the circle and we rotated that so that the circle will not lie in XY plane. So if this is the XY plane, and if you doesn't rotate the circle will stay on the surface of this XY plane. But we rotated it so that in X and Y axis we rotated it so that the circle is looking ellipse when we are viewing it through Z axis. So anyhow, that's the path. Then we rotated the box also because we don't want to see the box as a rectangle. We want to see some other faces as well. So we rotated the box also. So these two transformed object is passed to this path transition. After that, here we are playing the animation. Of course, we set the cycle count as 1 and we set the orientation type as none. And when we play it, you can see the 3D box will get rotated along the path. So this is the path and this is the shape that needs to be animated. Right, now let's go to the demo. Alright, so the orientation of the path can be explored well with a perspective camera. So we will set the camera and explore the orientation type. Here we can set perspective camera. We already saw the perspective camera in our previous video in this course. So we create perspective camera. We translate this in X and Y. We set the Z transformation also. Finally, we set camera to the scene.set camera and perspective camera. So once you set the perspective camera, you can see you can see the box that look realistic. Alright, now we will go to the demo and explore it. Okay, now we will create a copy of this scale transition. Then do a refactor paste. We will call this as a path transition. So here first we create a uncut pan. Then we are setting the scene. That means we are setting the stage size here. After setting the title, we are displaying it. We will make our first run here. So this is the stage in which we will play the path animation. So here we are creating the path for the animation. So the path is circle, JavaFx scene shape circle, radius is 200. We are setting the stroke as a light gray, width is 2, fill color is transparent, that means the circle will not be filled, and we are moving it to the center of the stage. You saw the stage, right? It's 800 width and height 250. Circle will be located in the center because it's an anchor pen and the origin stays towards the top left. Now let's save this and run it. So we have drawn our circle, and this circle is towards the center, and this will act as a path. So all these steps we learned in our previous videos. Here if you see, I'm creating a rotation. We are using the point 3D x and y axis rotation, and we set rotation angle as 45, and we are rotating the path. Path here is nothing but the circle. Now it will look like this. Since it is rotated on x as well as y direction, the circle looks like a ellipse. Why? Because it is orienting towards z axis also. Even though it's a circle, it looks like a ellipse, since our default camera is looking through the z axis. Next, we create a 3D box, and we rotate that as well. So this is box coming from JavaFx scene shape. Width, height, depth all are equal, so it will be a cube, and we assign a Pong material to the box. So we create a material and we are assigning that to the box. Finally, we are rotating that box along x and y axis, and the rotation axis is 45 degree. Now we will save this, build, and run. So box is circle. If you see, we translated it, but here we haven't yet translated the box because we are going to animate it along this path. Once you set the path transition, the box will automatically move to the path. So the centroid of the box will be located to this path, and it will start moving. So for now, the box is towards the top left corner because that's where the axis origin is at present. So it is anchor pen, right? So 0 x. So x will be this way, y will come down, and z is from here pointing towards you from this top left. Now we will perform the shape rotation along the path. The path here is circle, which is oriented towards XYZ axis. Path transition is from JavaFX animation, path transition, and cycle count is 1, but the animation will play for 15 seconds. So first we will use orientation type as none. Then we will play the animation. So when orientation type is none, box will not rotate and the orientation will be same from initial to end. So now we already built this. Let us run and see how it is performing the path transition. And you can see you are always seeing two side and one top, and the orientation doesn't change, and it moved towards the path. Right now we will change the orientation type here as orthogonal to tangent. Let's build this once again and run it. This time if you see, it's trying to orient towards the center, and that's why the box is rotating when it is moving along the path. So we can also set a perspective camera. So here I'm not going to explain about perspective camera. Watch our previous video to know about the perspective camera. It will be available in this course itself. So here we create a perspective camera and we assign that to the scene, and let's see how it works with the orientation types. Perspective camera is from JavaFx scene. Now we will rebuild and run the file, and you can see the cube is now with the perspective camera, and you can see a slight change in the shape, but here the object is not making any transformation. I will run once again. The object is not making any transformation, but it's a effect of the perspective camera. The perspective camera is located at the default location, top left. From there you are viewing it. When the object changes the location, it looks slightly different. Now we will keep this as orthogonal to tangent and explore it. So now you can see object is rotating and camera effect also applied, and the 3D box is making movement along the path. Alright, that's all here in this video. Here we took a simple circle as a path. You can even have a complex path. Let's say you can have a mixture of arcs and line, then curves, so that object will move in a different direction. And of course you have to hide the path. You should not draw that on this stage. So just define the shape and give it to the path transition. So here we drawn the path so that you can see the box is moving along the path. Alright, that's all here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.